All right, now we're going to get into the turn phases. So, first thing you're going to do is the production phase. So this whole phase section of the round, everybody does this at the same time. You don't have to go by the standard turn order. You can, it's optional. You can go in the standard turn order building your units, or you can all just pay for your units all at the same time. It's agreed upon by the party that is playing. Though normally to save on time, you'd all do it at the same time. So this phase, like I said, the first thing you're going to do is look at your production chart over here. This chart is going to be showing all of the amount of resources you collect, manpower, equipment, provisions, things like that. There's a tracker for it. So you'll collect that number of, whatever resource, and then you all get to spend it on units. You can go with, lots of cheap little units. You can go with heavy defense, heavy hitting. There's all these different units that we'll get into later. But you're going to be building facilities and units to use later. So after you build them, they're going to go in the on your build plate, which I'm using build plates here for each nation. So they all have their own. One for the East and West Confederacy and one for the East and West Union. I don't have one for the Native Americans yet. I'll be getting some in for them later. But yeah, so you're just going to be building new units. You can also repair facilities that have been damaged by raiders. We'll get into that whole process of what that means later. But yeah, you'll be just, again, building and repairing. Pretty simple phase of the game. All right, now we get on to the player turn phase. So this is where you start going in turn order. So you'd start with the Eastern Confederacy, so we'll start with them. So the first thing you're going to do is the research and command phase. So you're going to be using your research and command points to spend on officers, diplomacy, or upgrading your units. So first you have to figure out how much research and command points, or RCP, you gain. So you're going to roll a single d6. A 1 or a 2, you'll get 2 research and command points. If you roll a 3 through 5, you'll get 4. And if you roll a 6, you get 6. So okay, so they only have 2 research and command points. So then you get to spend those research and command points. You can pay 2 points to appoint a leader. So you get your commander deck. Each side has a commander deck, so you have one for the north and one for the south. There should be about 10 commanders per side. So you draw a card and you get that commander. Like say you get Robert E. Lee, he'd have certain buffs for you, like extra defense, things like that. All of these leaders have different abilities. You get Jeb Stuart, you get extra cavalry attacker defense for 1 battle, things like that. But it costs 1 research and command point to actually activate that card. So it costs 2 to actually draw the card, and it costs 1 to use him. Also, you cannot use that card the turn it is drawn, so you have to wait till next turn to actually use him. You can also spend 1 research and command point to discard one of your commander cards and draw a new one. And again, same rules apply. You can't use this new guy until the next turn. You are limited to 2 commander cards per player. Next, you have diplomacy. You can spend 2 research and command points. You pick one of the 3 Native American nations and you roll a d6. So a 1 through 4 is a fail, nothing happens. A 5 or a 6, that Native American tribe joins your cause, and you will then be taking their turn, and they fight for you against the other, against the other players or Indian tribes, if there are some that have sided with them. And then lastly, you have the unit upgrades. So you can again spend 2 research and command points to attempt to upgrade a unit. You get to pick the unit you want to upgrade. So like say you want to upgrade a brigade. So everyone starts with tier 1, obviously, they're the basic, weak, you know, cheap guys. Well, if you unlock tier 2 or tier 3, they get improvements, so they're better at, you know, attacking, defending. They're more combat effective. So it's really good to try and upgrade your units because it'll really help you out on the battlefield. Some of the units do cost more when you upgrade them, but you can, even if say you have the tier 2 or 3 brigade, if you can't afford to like produce them, you can still build the tier 1 ones if you really need to. Like if you want to spam a bunch of weak guys for some reason, you can do that still. Every unit, again, it costs 2 research and command points to attempt an upgrade, but every unit has a different number to roll. So like to unlock a tier 2 brigade, you have to roll a 3 or higher. But if you want to unlock a tier 2 artillery, you have to roll a 4 or higher. And then it gets harder from there. If you want to unlock a tier 3 brigade, or sorry, a tier 3 artillery, then you'd have to roll a 5 or 6. So it gets harder to unlock them the higher the tier.